Yes, so this is also how to do transplanting after your seedlings have gotten to the mature stage to be transplanted. In fact, these are cabbage seedlings. They are not looking very good, I must confess, because these are remnants of what I transplanted. So the better ones, I transplanted them, but I'm using these ones for the demonstration purpose. Hopefully, I know yours will be much better looking than mine. So it's also the same thing. Every crop has its planting distance, so you need to take that precaution in place. And cabbage is ideally around 45 centimeters apart, right? 45 centimeters apart within the rows is supposed to be 45 centimeters apart ideally for most cabbage varieties. So this is how it's supposed to do. It's supposed to go. So this one, you make your hole. Yes, the rule of the thumb also still rules here. It's a good practice to make it as wide as much as possible, and sometimes you make it as wide as much as possible so that in case there's water shortage or something, it's not raining and you need to water, you can create a cap around it so that the seedlings will stay in very well. So yes, I'm struggling currently struggling with my camera because I'm doing a one-man job here. So this is it. So you put your seedling in there, and you firmly press around it. It's not a very good, it's always good you firmly press it on the surface of the soil so that it will stand upright. It's always not a good practice to press it towards the root. It's also not a good practice to leave holes around it or to let it be loose so that outside air may enter in. It's not a very good practice that way. So it's always good you press it. Depending on your soil, if you press it too hard, let me say around the base or around the root side, it may cause the compaction. Example, when you have clay soils, it's not a very good practice to press it too much because it may compact it, and the new roots that are to develop will find it difficult penetrating inside the soil. So you bear that in mind. It's always good that you press it at the base instead of at the bottom, but ensure that the soil around it is not there are no let's say you don't make it too loose so that, let's say, outside air and maybe insects and co can just directly go inside there. So this is also a quick transplanting guide. That's a quick transplanting guide. Yes, this is also a quick transplanting guide, and in the transplanting you always ensure that you follow the recommended planting distance. And most of the vegetable dealers or the vegetable seed dealers, they show you what is best planting distance to use. So you bear that in mind. So this is also how we go about it. So thank you for your attention. Planted our seedlings. Yes, so now we've transplanted our seedlings, and we need to water them. If the need be, we need to water them, and there's a precaution you need to take to ensure that you don't cause damage to the newly transplanted seedling that you have. You have to always water around the base of it instead of watering directly on the leaf, because sometimes when you water it straight on top, it may fall down, and when it falls down, in my case it seems it's still standing, but it may fall down, and when it falls down, you see that the soil, part of the roots will enter, part of the leaves will enter into the soil, and sometimes the soil will even cover the whole plant. As you can see, this one is not a very good practice this way. If you do it this way, as you can see this way, it is not very good. So your subsequent watering, you see that very soon these ones will go down, and all this very soon you just see maybe a small tip of the leaf outside. And when it is like that, the plants suffer a lot. So you need to bear it in mind that you always do it at the base, and when peradventure you've done it and it is falling down, you need to raise it. Because it's a young seedling, it's very fragile, and you need to do that to ensure that you are successful in what you are doing. Thank you.